Well, you mentioned before we started recording that you had been back to the chambers for the final time and had delivered your I guess official letter to the governor. I always thought that when a justice retired and delivered a notice to the governor that was it. But I've never heard of this other letter that you mentioned.
Well, it's just telling him that I'm essentially what I'm saying is herewith I'm delivering the letter notifying you of my resignation effective the end of the day, August 31 of this year. So that's formalizing, because I talked to his office before. They said, this is what I'm going to do. And they said, okay, we need to send a letter. And I said, yeah, okay, I'll send a letter.
So that's the official notice of the vacancy coming up, and then the appointment process.
I guess before I delivered the letter, I could have changed my mind. But yeah, it was hard walking in there. In fact, I walked out the door and I thought, oh no, I've got one more thing I got to do. And I had to take my chamber key off my key ring and leave it on the desk. Walked out, and of course I have a key card badge to get in and out. They'll just turn that off at some point if I can't get in. So I'm probably, other than as a guest of someone, I'm kind of done at the office now.
Mm-hmm. No more reserve parking space right there in the complex.
That's right. Boy, isn't that valuable? Sure is.
Very much so in that spot. You bet. Well, so it sort of raises the question about, what's next for the court. Every time a justice leaves, it seems like some people kind of get up in arms about, oh no, we could have a tie vote, but that never really seems to be an issue. And of course, right now, the courts, as you pointed out, the fiscal year is ending and the court's decided all its cases for the last term. So there really isn't anything coming out in terms of opinions or anything like that, and won't be for probably a while.
Probably till November.
Right. And so we're at this phase now where, we're all kind of, once you're officially departed on Monday, then it kind of becomes a waiting game of what the governor's going to do as far as appointing your successor. And for those of us that are court watchers, we know that your successor fills out your unexpired term, which runs through the end of 2022, but they have to run in the next general. So it would be the November 2022 election.
So they'd be running for a full term.
Well, timing of that works out great for the successor, because I've seen so many times folks having to run for a partial term, like a 4 years.
Right.
Right after
a 2-year remainder of the term, and then have to do it again for the long term.
Well, and unlike some of the,
as I mentioned earlier, the timing was such that I would hope that somebody could be appointed and step right in and start the new term with the court. I don't know what the governor's plans are, or if he has anybody in mind right now. They don't ask my advice or clue me in on what they're doing at this point, or even, I don't know if they even talk to the Chief Justice. But I'm hopeful that the governor will appoint somebody that's good. I bet he will, and I just hope sooner rather than later.
Go ahead, Todd.
Sorry, Jody.
It's okay.
We're just we're both anxious to talk today. Well, we've had some recent appointments to the court with Justice Bland and Justice Busby, and I know the governor interviewed a good number of people for those positions, and we still have some people who were good judges who were defeated in the last election cycle, who it might seem would be candidates for that position. That's certainly how it worked out with Justice Busby. So I know you can't speculate on that, but hopefully there would not be a really long period of time that would pass before the appointment was made, because there have been good people who've been lining up with their applications in hand, ready to take the oath.
Well, I would look for somebody whose initials are JB, because you got Jane Bland, JB, you got Justin Brett Busby, JB. Got Jimmy Blacklock, JB. Got Jeff Boyd, JB. So
I'm sure that didn't get confusing.
JB, then it seemed like a cinch.
Wow. I hadn't thought about that till you just said that, but wow, that is a lot of JBs at the court.
Yeah.
Do you-
Shows on all, identifying things on everything. So we got a lot of JBs. So Busby decided he'll go with BB instead of JB, Justin Brett. So he goes Brett. So he cleared up a little bit of that. Lots of JBs.
That may be the most important qualification of all.
Could be.
Who knew?